This is a picture of the slab wood that I have piled up just from milling up the last few weeks. Well, a few weeks ago. I haven't milled for a while. But this is the slab wood that I need to get rid of, out of my way. It's kind of hanging out in the driveway. Just because there's so much snow on the ground right now, I really don't have anywhere else to put it. I just want to get it cut up into chunks. I'll pile it up. And then here in another month, pretty much when we quit burning inside, then I will start stacking this firewood underneath my covered area and start getting ready for next year's wood supply. But kind of the point of this video is kind of to show you how I get rid of my slab wood, and I want to try out my new PICKAROONs. I bought two of them, a short handle and a long handle, and I really am curious which one I'm gonna like more, which one I'm gonna tend to use more. But so I just use my compound miter saw, but that is an old compound miter saw. I bought that compound miter saw in 2003, 2004, and it's lasted me this long. I've replaced the bearings in it once, and it works just fine again. It was kind of noisy there for a while, but I replaced the bearings and it works just fine. I think that was like $1. It cost me $1 to replace the bearings. They were really cheap. And that saw will last you forever, especially if you take care of it. But yeah, I'll zoom in on my saw really quick. Maybe. But I do really like that compound miter saw. That's a nice saw. Keone just wants me to play. She always just wants to play. She's just like a kid. All I want to do is play. Anyway, I'm going to show you what I'm up to. I'll quit talking and I'll get to work. So I'll show you really quick how I kind of set this up in the summertime when I don't have all the snow around me and everything, how I usually set it up. This is a little bit of a unique situation just because I don't want to throw this wood. It's been sitting out. Some of it's waterlogged. It still has a lot of water in it and stuff from the snow melting. So I don't want to put it in my firewood pile right now to burn right now because it just caused me misery. But I'll save it. Once I'm done burning for the year, I'll pile it into my storage area and it'll have all summer to dry out. It'll be perfect for next year. But this is how I would set it up. I bring the saw down all the way to the edge of the stand. I take the piece that sits up here, that holds the log, or the lumber, not log, but the lumber flat. I put it in the middle. Show you where. So I put that little stand in the middle, and then I have the other stand still there, and that will hold the longer slabs on the saw so that I don't have to fight with them and they're not tipping around and everything. It just stabilizes everything. On this end, right here on the end, that's where I would park my wheelbarrow. And I will run it in so that the nose of the wheelbarrow is here and the handles are down here on this end. I just run it up in there. And then as I am cutting, I just slide the slab, the piece of firewood. After it's cut, I just use the rest of the length to slide it right into the wheelbarrow. And if I didn't have all the snow, I could show you exactly how I do it, but with the snow, I'm just going to give you an idea. Pretend that there is a wheelbarrow right there. Use your imagination. And that's how I do it. Easy as that. He's stuck. I don't know my own thing. I'll show you that one more time. And if you notice, I always start on the way back, all the way back, and pull it forward. And that's so that it doesn't pinch and bind the blade and jar it real quick. Because if you start here and running back that way, and if it gets pinched, it'll push the blade back out really quick, and it just makes it a little bit more unsafe. So I start back here, and if it's a really thick piece, I'll bring the saw out, but I always go back and make sure that I get it all the way down to alleviate that pinch. Just like that. Anytime that I can go from a round edge to a flat edge, because that one broke, I'll put that flat edge against my fence. And it just makes it more stable. And that's kind of how I do it. My setup is, I'm going to unplug this really quick. So I'll just lock so it has a lock there. And my setup is from the blade to the fence, 15 inches. And from the blade to the fence. It's a little bit longer than 15 right there, but that's fine, because I can do up to a 16 inch. but it should be 15 inches, and I will reset that because I do want it to be, if everything's the same size, it makes it a lot easier to stack as well. And all of the end pieces, they just get set off to the side, and once I finish a row, or once I get the shed almost full, I just throw the little pieces up on top. All of the very last cuts. And this kind of stuff just gets thrown up on top, and it usually gets burnt up first, and that's what I use for kindling. Works out really well. I'm happy with this system. You don't have to use an expensive compound miter saw. It's just what I have. But you could go get a chop saw and do this if you were looking at doing like the same type of a setup. Or just watch garage sales. Sometimes people will be selling their saws, and there's not a whole lot to them, so a lot of the times you can take them apart and fix them as long as the motor isn't burnt up in it. But that motor will go forever. I mean, I've had mine for goodness gracious. Like I think I bought it in 2003, 2004, somewhere right in there. It was Safety glasses and hearing protection. So I got this one here. I used it, and I don't know what it probably did used to say how big it was. I have a tape measure here, but it's just an average hatchet size. A piece of ice in my pocket. We don't want that to melt in my pocket, do we? So it's 15 inches overall length, top of the head to the end of the handle. This one works really well. I think this would be good for if you're doing a lot of firewood, just to, if it's not all the way down on the ground. If it's on the ground, you're going to be doing a lot of bending over, and that's kind of the whole purpose that I got it, was so I didn't have to do a whole bunch of bending over and wearing my back out. So they both worked really well. This is more of an axe handle length. It's the same size, same exact end. The head of it it's exactly the same, and it is 31.5 inches long from the top of the head to the end of the handle. And if I was going to buy just one, this is the one I would buy. Right here. Because I can grab it here really high up if I want. But I can grab it at the end here and I can get something on the ground and pick it up and not even have to bend over. So if I were going to spend the money, it is a little bit more expensive. This one was $55 for this one, the longer handled one, and this one was $38. Most of the cost is always going to be in the metal head. But if I had my choice, if I had to pick between one or the other, I could only afford one or the other, this is the one I would get for myself. Because I can reach a long distance and pull that to me. Don't want to be messing too close with the extension cord, but I can pick it up off the ground real easy. That works really well. I'm happy with that. Very happy with that. This is the one I would buy if it were me. And just a disclaimer, I bought these tools myself. I paid full price. Nobody knew what I was doing with them. At the store they asked me what I was buying them for, and I said that I was buying them for doing firewood, which not a lie. I did not have a plan of doing a review on them at all, but then I got to thinking about it once I got them home, and I thought that might be a pretty cool idea. If somebody is thinking about buying a PICKAROON and they didn't really know, or maybe you didn't even know about them, and maybe you come across this, and this is be really good. It's a really good tool to have when you are doing firewood. If you process a lot of firewood, like I do the slabs, and I was able to reach way out there, hook it, and pull that slab to me, even though there was snow in between us, and that I saved myself from stepping in a bunch of snow. Just reach out and pick it up. With that being said, I'm going to end this video right there. It's going to be a lot to edit, and hopefully you stuck around till the end. And if you did stick around till the end, thank you very much. I appreciate it. These silly things off. But thank you for watching this edition of Not So Remote Alaska. And until next time, may God bless and keep each and every one of you. And with that, I'm out.